Hey, what's up? If you're a Battlefront player and you watch the news about Battlefront 2, you have seen Droidakas being the new recent transmission. And if you haven't seen that they're gonna be in Star Wars Battlefront 2, then they're gonna be in Star Wars Battlefront 2. They did a video transmission of how they're gonna work and how they're gonna look and play. There's been multiple different people talking about the weird things about droidekas, that they look taller in the game, yet they're just the same height as they were in the movies. The ball form might be quite crummy on places like Camino and Kashyyyk and Geonosis. Camino, because if they didn't make it so that you can only jump over ledges in the ball form with pressing the jump button, then that leaves Camino in a good standing point, because the main thing that's confusing about Camino is because there's very low railings on the entire map. So if you just slightly nudge over it, you just fall into your death. You already have that problem with frickin' the normal characters, but you have to jump over them. But so that's the main problem with with Camino. If they're gonna make it so that you have to jump with the X button, then it's gonna just become void. But so, if in the other two maps, like Geonosis and Kashyyyk, Geonosis and Kashyyyk are basically the same terrain, because there's a lot of stuff around. There's rocks on Geonosis that you could only hop over. There's a lot of steep slopes on both maps. There's a lot of things that you could just fall off of on both maps. So it's going to be very weird on how we're going to see how they make the droideka's movements not be disorientating in the maps, which is hopefully going to be good. Then there's other problems, like on the normal, like if you're playing Scout and Strike on the clone side, in Kashyyyk, because then there's going to be no railings whatsoever, and you're just going to be falling to your death constantly if you're playing as a droideka, which is going to be a very bad thing to all players if you're playing a droideka. And there's a lot of different people asking how are they going to work, and people confused on if they're going to be balanced properly, because knowing DICE, they're either going to make something totally perfectly unbalanced, absolutely can destroy the entire team like they did with Anakin, or gonna make it it's so bad that you never want to use them and it's buggy as hell like they did with Grievous at first launch. There's basically no in between. There's basically a little bit of an in between. Freaking Obi-Wan was slightly more on the overpowered side when he was launched, and same with Dooku. They didn't really they really nerfed those characters and then helped them afterwards. So people are wondering if they're gonna be overpowered or underpowered, and that's a real big question we need to ask. The other answer that they've gave is that the droidekas are gonna be enforcer. And so if you max out your enforcers, you're gonna have a max out droideka when they come out. So no more leveling up for those guys. But the abilities like star cards that are single to abilities, then they will do they haven't really said, but those star cards will help out the droideka in any way it possibly can. I don't know what they're going to do with the incinerator grenade star card, where it basically increases the radius of the explosives that you do with the enforcers. Don't know how they're going to do that, considering that those are explosives, and the droideka doesn't have a single explosive. He literally has shield and rapid fire and bull form, no explosives, just at all. So I'm kind of weird to see on how they do that. It's gonna be quite intriguing on how they're gonna make the droideka just function at all, because the droideka, they've already said that it's gonna be tricky to make the droideka because it's a transforming droid, and plus all the maps are not designed for the droideka. But hopefully they'll make it so that the droideka is designed for the maps and not designed for one specific map. let's hope it's not just designed for Naboo and it can't work on any other map. Like, pretty much, practically the Jet Trooper. It can only work on Camino, mainly. Because then you can actually get across holes fastly and actually survive them. But then every other map, they're good-ish, but they're not really designed for most of the other maps, which is weird. Same with, like, because there's some thing, like, they did a pretty good job of making things actually function for different maps, but let's hope that they didn't just make them good for Naboo only. Let's just hope that, because if they're good for only Naboo, then we've hit rock bottom with EA.